through 18 reads, He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. For by him all things were created, that are in heaven and that are on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created through him and for him. And he is before all things, and in him all things consist. And he is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things he may have preeminence. Let's think back to the Bible times. Let's use our imaginations and think back to when Jesus walked this earth. Now here's this man. Multitudes are being healed. Miracles are happening. And people are talking to each other as they do. And perhaps the rumor mill's going. And they're saying, man, this guy must be some kind of witch. Or this guy must be something weird. And then there's also fear that develops in people of the unknown. But then you got people, his disciples and others, saying that this is the Messiah. This person is God. And imagine that you are living there during this time. What would you think? I think sometimes now we have it easier than they did back then. Because we know that Jesus isn't here in the flesh. But I think we put Jesus on a pedestal as a celebrity more than sometimes our God. You know, like I said, we got the posters of Jesus, we got t-shirts of Jesus, we got crosses with Jesus, we got just Jesus is everywhere. You know, we got wristbands saying, what would Jesus do? Yeah. You know, he becomes a celebrity. Jesus is famous. But why is Jesus famous in our lives? Is it because everybody says I got to have him? Everybody says it's what I got to do? Or is it because of that personal relationship with Christ? He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. The visible and the invisible. We're looking today at the title of the sermon is In Heavenly Places. Jesus Christ is God. He is the visible. All the things you see here on earth, the beautiful snow, the blue sky, the weather, all of these things are Jesus, our God. But also the things that you can't imagine. Heaven, the earth, the stars that we can't see, all of the things up there, that is all God too. It's near impossible for us to imagine this, that all things are through him and for him. Now, I have this pulpit here. It's a nice pulpit. It's sturdy. It's made of wood and stone. This is a part of Jesus. This is a part of God. Well, Joel, it's not living. It doesn't matter. The Bible just said that all things are through him and for him. This earth in which we walk is a part of God. Our hair, our skin, our toes, our face, they're all a part of him. They are in him. We forget that all of the things that we sometimes categorize as earthly, they are earthly. But the earth is of God. The earth was created through him. We took the things that God provided and we used them to create the society, the chairs, the clothes that are on our backs. We put all these things together, but it is all a part of God, a part of Jesus. In verse 17 it reads, And he is before all things, and in him all things consist. What could be before all things? What could there be before all things? There was God. there was Jesus. Our thoughts of what all things are so limited to what we see and what we can feel. Well, there must not have been anything before the galaxies were created, before the stars were placed in space. There was. Except we can't really wrap our mind around it. There was God, there was Jesus, there was the Holy Spirit all together. It's hard to wrap our minds around that something was there before something was there. You know? It doesn't make rational sense to us, but it's the truth. In verse 18 it reads, "And he is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning and the firstborn from the dead, that in all things he may have preeminence." Now the word preeminence, I wanted to make sure I understood it correctly, so I looked it up. And it means surpassing all other things. Superiority. Our God surpasses all other things, and has superiority. Jesus surpasses all other things and has superiority. The Holy Spirit surpasses all other things and has superiority. There is nothing higher, greater, grander than our God, than Jesus Christ. The heavens, the skies, they all form together. They live in Him and Him in them. They are created for Him in all things. We're looking at the in heavenly places, walking worthy of God, putting our head down and not being distracted by the things of this earth, having our blinders on and plowing forward, living a fruitful life, something sweet, tasty, and wonderful. We have been delivered from the darkness through Christ. Our God is the invisible and the visible. And He is before all things. That is Jesus.